Oh, you know what? I got a great idea. Instead of, like, you know, pacing this kind of stuff out and doing this stuff whenever you're refreshed in the morning or whatever, but because I have no time whatsoever, let's do this really, really late at night and just try to bust it all out at once. So anyway, boys, this is a Conqueror, Lilias, a Jenua, and also a Choux on the team. So, well, there's no, you know, ML Molly on the team, but hey, this still procs Celine. Celine's still going to go in Jenua. He's still at 1 HP. So hey, let's go ahead and take this opportunity now to go into the one unit who Straze is not going to be one-shotting. So hey, let's see if we can kill. We happen to kill the Conqueror Lilias. Then this attack goes in. Sure, I believe it hit us because it didn't say miss on there, and also the, you know, residual damage went onto the other units, but we had skill null, and we straight up didn't get deleted in the other respects. Straze goes, kills the rest of the team. Hoorah! Let's move on. Now, if only the rest was quite as fucking simple and easy as that. So right now we're on to an Ocean Breeze Luluca, an Unbound Knight. Wow, this goes to show just how tired I am. An Urban Shadow Choux, and a Navy Captain Landy. So, first things first, where'd we fuck up? First thing that we did was we brought in another light tank that was our damage mitigator, because then Urban Shadow Choux went into our Unbound Knight Arowell instead of our Savior Adin, resulting in the counterattack that we could have gone in and hopefully stripped the anti-crit. Unfortunately, hey, whatever. Let's see if we can still make this work. Then we fuck up yet again by using Savior Adin's S3. Why is this a fuck up? Well, it's because right here, Navy Captain Landy's going to get a turn. Notice how she did not go into Martial Artist Ken. The reason why she didn't was because Martial Artist Ken still has invincibility. Because of that invincibility, straight up, we've kind of like wasted a turn of DPS going into the Navy Captain Landy, because straight up, if she went into us and then we got this hit right here, she'd be fucking dead already. But the thing that really sucks shit is we actually can still win, even though Navy Captain Landy's been going absolutely apeshit with counterattacks and like Elbrus procs. Because of this shit right here. Thanks, Savior Adin. Literally all you had to do was dodge. You just had to dodge that one attack. Hell, this attack too, and we still would have been okay. Unbound Knight Arowell probably would have been fucking dead, but we would have still been okay. We would have gone in with the one very piddly, weak-ass attack in the Navy Captain Landy, and we would have killed it, and we would have won. But you know what? Fine. Fuck it. I don't really care right now. Let's move on. So, now we're going into some really, really old school shit. So this is a Conqueror, Lilias, a Senya, and a Choux. Now, there is probably a pretty damn good reason as to why we just straight up don't see this defense anymore. Case in point, if you have Shadow Knight Pyllis, if you have Roana, congratulations, you can straight up fucking duo the team. It's going to take a little while, because the Shadow Knight Pyllis is also going to need to have Rocket Punch to make it work, but you will fucking win. I will absolutely guarantee you that shit. Also, the fact is, whenever you have a Shadow Knight Pyllis and Roana together, that is a dark unit and then also a green unit. So, if you have a really good green unit to throw onto this team as well, so that the Shadow Knight Pyllis is taking the damage from the Choux, guess what? You're 100% in the clear. Now, who is that one green unit that you could also utilize in this case instead of Lionheart Cermia? Well, it's probably one of the most broken green units that we have in the game right now. That would be Laya. So if we were to utilize Laya, then we would actually have straight up fucking extra nuking power to go along with the actual like straight up safety that the entire team has. We would also have cleanses. We would also have cooldown reduction on like all of our heals and all of our ability to even use Shadow Knight Pyllis S3s. It's actually kind of fucking nuts. I wish I thought of it whenever I was doing this team initially, because quite frankly, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've been really, really busy playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink in the last few days, and I've been farming the ever-loving shit out of it to the point where, man, my eyes hurt. But either way, now, let's say, yeah, you don't have Laya, you don't want to use Laya. Well, hey, let's say we're going to go ahead and throw in Lionheart Cermia. The reason why Lionheart Cermia also works, but is not as good as Laya, is because Lionheart Cermia, at random points in this match, can then take the aggro from the team, because Well, you're dealing with Choux. Choux has she basically pins defense, and the only unit that she can go into which really feels good is Shadow Knight Pyllis, because whenever the S1, S2, like, proc chance happens on Choux, she does so little damage to Shadow Knight Pyllis that it is quite literally hilarious. The S2, like, Death Pierce does a little over 4k, at least to Shadow Knight Pyllis. That's mainly due to the passive that she has, and she's able to tank it like an absolute champ. And because you're dealing with counterattack shenanigans, Roana still does a lot of good work, keeps you healthy, and then you might see some next level stupid shit like you're seeing here. To those of you who are paying very close attention, yes indeed, that is a Senya that is on a counter set. I don't know why, but it is a Senya on a counter set. Why am I confused about this? Well, Senya gives herself counterattack. So I don't really quite understand why someone would be on counterattack set unless you really wanted to mindfuck somebody in some PvP situations where, like, oh hey cool, I have this Senya stripped, I'm gonna go ahead and go into this shit and everything's gonna be super awesome, and then you straight up start counterattacking anyway, and then you start making them like question their life decisions, and then they're just like, but there's no counter set there. There's no counter buff. Why is the counterattack happening? And that's basically what I was experiencing while I was doing this. I was like, why in the fuck am I getting counterattacked by a Senya with no counter buff? But either way, now that we've managed to go through a lot of this bullshit by just talking about next level stupid shit, basically Shadow Knight Pyllis on Rocket Punch can grind the whole team out, and if you get lucky and you get your crits in with Lionheart Cermia, she can also do the win for you too. Now, on to one of the experiments that I was wanting to try. So, normally, this would probably work, except for the fact that I have Proof of Valor on my Dark Corvus, and my Dark Corvus is pretty thick. This is Dark Corvus, Destina, and then Dragon Bride Senya. Now, because of that, and we're also going into a Savior Adin with no attack buff at the start, due to that little shindig right then and there, well, we still haven't procced Oath of Punishment. Like, we're just straight up not taking enough damage for it to happen. But when it does happen, fun things occur. And then also, of course, we happen to go before, like, we're able to really do any kind of damage. Like, the Unbound Arowell still has a big barrier on her from the S3 that she did. Navy Captain Landy hasn't gone yet, so she still has invincibility. Normally, what I would do going into these teams is I would Oxlots, Ruel of Light, and then Arunca these, so that I could just straight up kill it right from the jump. Because with Unbound Arowell there, everybody has a barrier. Arunca is the absolute fucking murderer of barriers. And yeah, I would just go into Savior Adin first, and then after that, I would either go into the Unbound Arowell, or I'd go into the Navy Captain Landy, depending on the actual level of bulk and HP stats that I see on her. And yeah, we're 100% in the clear, and then we just go for it. Now, in this particular situation, we just so happen to not deal enough damage to kill the Savior Adin, but hey, we just so happen to deal just enough for Destina to get that kill. What are the odds you'd fucking see that? But then, because we get our Oath of Punishment, we're then able to go into everybody, deal a good bit of damage, and then we're also able to land a couple of, like, you know, provokes onto the Navy Captain Landy. So, like, right here, I'm really not worried, because, like, hey, she's at 17k, we're going into an escort right here. It's going to be extremely close whenever my Dark Corvus gets his turn, and whenever he goes in with his Soul Burn S3 Devil's Descent, well, he's either going to kill, or he's just going to kill the Unbound Arowell. Let's see the numbers. Yep, so we're like 3k over. So it does kill the Navy Captain Landy, and it also does the extra damage to kill the Unbound Arowell as well. Hooray! Now on to some next level bad ideas. Don't fucking do this shit. Because, quite frankly, as I showcased before, if you Shadow Knight Pyllis and Roana into, like, any green unit, or any fucking, like, unit that just punishes counterattack shenanigans, you straight up win this fight for free. So what I was wanting to do is, hey, let's just see how based Dragon Bride Senya is, going into some shit she absolutely shouldn't be. So for starters, we get provoked. So we're not able to use our S3 immediately right here. Okay, that kind of sucks. And then here comes the big hit that's going to go into everybody right here. Bam. Skill nulls are kind of working, but Dragon Bride Senya is still taking a hell of a beating. So, we've taken a lot of damage on Dragon Bride Senya, but thankfully we do have Ravi here. Ravi is going to be taking the brunt of the abuse from Choux, But the problem still arises, oh cool, element disadvantage sure as fuck is not working on this team. So, we're provoked, we're fucking blinded, everything really sucks. If that Choux happened to get the follow-up attack right there on my Dragon Bride Senya, it is very, very close to say she might have died right then and there. But because she happens to go in with her S2 right then and there, cool. This finally procs Oath of Punishment. Now we can start to actually, like, have a little bit of fun. Now, what could I have done instead of, say, bringing Ahmed into this team? I really probably should have just brought Angelic Montmorency, or, oh, I don't know, not use Dragon Bride, Senya, and Ravi for this. But I just decided, you know, this seems like one hell of a fucking test, because taking Ravi into a Choux is straight up asking yourself to get killed. But it just so happens to work out. We land this crit right here, we deal enough damage, and then we just so happen to kill. Okay, yeah, don't fucking do that. It worked, but I recommend you do not do that. But either way, now we're going into some Ran, Mercedes, and some Savior Aiden shit. And straight up, with Albedo being in the game now, along with Elena, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about Ran anymore, and Ran doesn't scare me. Because right here, even if he RNLs, this is going to proc Elena, Elena's going to cleanse, and now we don't have to worry about Death Break on us anymore. And even if he did RNL, the only unit that he would go into would be Elena. Elena would then also be taking less damage because of Albedo being there, and because of the critical hit going into it. Basically, it just nullifies the ever-loving shit out of the damage that I'm taking on opening turn. Then, as soon as Albedo gets the turn, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill, especially if you have 3F. Now, if you're not rocking damage and you do have 3F, yeah, it should absolutely kill. Nah, works for me. So, now here's where we kind of make a little bit of a fuck-up, is the fact that we brought Roana with us. Roana ends up working out, but due to, like, Vigilant Eye procs and, like, all of the counterattacks that were happening there, Roana got her turn a lot sooner than expected, and due to that happening right then and there, so she was the only one who didn't have immortality at that moment, so she was open to attacks. And she took 2 really, really strong-ass attacks right then and there. But because my Roana is so fucking based and giving all the wonderful counterattack Celestines that I need, yeah, we're able to survive this horrible, horrible situation. Now, what could I have done? I could have probably just used the S3 on turn 1 whenever everybody had full HP, but I just didn't want to do that. It just felt like a waste. But, like, hey, could have probably done that. Whatever. So, everything works out. Everything's great. We managed to survive that one really, really horrible situation where Roana was about to die. We probably more than likely would have still won because, like, straight up, 3F proc damage with Albedo is absolutely fucking crazy. Like, this this brick fucking shithouse that is Albedo is really, really hard to kill unless you're utilizing, like, say, JHoang, for example. JHoang feels like it's the best option ever to go into Albedo because she's built like a brick shithouse with lots and lots of HP and next to no attack, so she should do lots of damage to her. But either way, that goes that. Hey, cool, we're at the end of the video. So, with that being said, boys and girls, welcome to the end of the video, yay! So, as per ritual dictates, we need to go ahead and talk about it yet again. So this is day numero 8 of the hero roster being at max. It's fucking awesome, SG. I absolutely love it. If by chance you are perhaps working on a method of fixing this particular situation, it would be fucking wonderful. But hey, now that we got that out of the way, what else is really going on? Well, like I was saying before, I've been very, very busy with playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Holy shit, the game has been a fucking blast. And the thing that is really, really sad about it is it's one of those, like, Monster Hunter kind of games where if the community ever goes low or the community ever dies, like, if it's ever not very popular at any particular moment, well, then there's really, it loses a lot of its flavor to, like, you know, keep playing it. Well, thankfully for me, I have 2 friends of mine, and we're soon going to be getting a 4th friend to be playing it, and then we will be back into Grind City. Why am I saying this? Well, because there's not really much else to talk about in Epic 7. Hey, you want to talk about Epic 7? Hey, cool. Hey, you guys started the the summer Tavet Island thing yet again, a rerun summer event, which is basically used for the whole purpose of getting a whole lot of gear for the sake of farming. But the thing that's really, really bad about it is they brought back the really, really shit mechanics of having to have a limited 5-star hero that needs to be imprinted to at least like A rank, possibly S rank, so that you can actually effectively farm it. Yeah, they brought that fucking event back, and they didn't fucking fix it. So it's basically as if it's like last year all over again. That thing that everyone fucking hated, and we ended up getting compensation for it. Hey, SG, I'm waiting. But either way, if you like this video, go on ahead and hit like. If you want to see more of my content, hit subscribe. Time for a nap.